So funny when guys ask girls, what kind of man are you looking for? Like, why do you ask?
You should have heard me coming. You didn't hear the sirens? Ladies, stay quiet. When you hear those questions, so what do you look for in a man? What does your dream guy look like? You only got 2 answers. 1, I'm not looking for anything. My man's looking for me. 2, how about you show me who you are and I'll tell you if it lines up. The less information he has, the less he can manipulate you. Get to know him as a man first. See if he's worthy to be in your life. Oh, you forgot? You're the prize? Well, I'm here to remind you, you're the one that needs to be doing the choosing, not the one that needs to be chosen.
8 questions to ask your sweetie before you become exclusive. 1, what is your definition of cheating? Be very clear here because sometimes we have very different ideas of what a cheat is. 2, what kind of relationship do you want? Monogamous, monogamish, poly? Do you want to open it up in the future? What's the plan? 3, what kind of kinky stuff are you into? You're not trying to yuck their yum, you just want to know what to expect. 4, what's your biggest worry about me? Basically, let's put all the red flags on the table and discuss. 5, are you prepared to be my primary emotional support person? Because if not, am I okay with that? Because I'm gonna have to lean into my community more often. 6, understanding this can change. What are you giving the most energy to right now? School, work, creativity, this relationship, family, friends, partying, and am I okay with that? 7, does anyone else think that they're in a relationship with you right now? Which is different from, are you in another relationship right now? 8, what do you think is most important that I should be aware of? Just leave it open-ended, see where it goes.
What's some timeless advice for a lasting relationship?
You will disappoint one another. That's a good thing to remember. Doesn't mean anything's wrong. It's just part of life.
Just learn to forgive each other's failings.
To love one another, to enjoy one another, to be aware of one another's needs, to really hear what one another's saying.
Forgive and forget. Keeping your mouth shut and learning to cooperate with one another.
Quit bitching about everything and you will feel better.
Here's how psychology can help your relationship. Part 1. There's a concept in psychology called object permanence. Object permanence means when I pass this mug behind my head, even though you can't see it, you know that it probably still exists. Look at that. You were right. The ability to know that something exists, even if you can't see it or feel it or sense it, develops around age 2 or 3. This is also why babies love peekaboo. Now, the insecurely attached, your anxious and your avoidant folks, we struggle with something called emotional permanence in our relationships. That means that if we're having conflict with our significant other or feeling a lot of distance with them, we struggle to believe that the loving feelings between the two of us still exist. If we can't see or feel their affection or see proof in our lives that they're dedicated to us, we feel like they may abandon us or like we may need to abandon them. What to do about this? In part 2. How psychology can help your relationship? Part 2. So in part 1, I talked about the concept of object permanence. That means that when you see something and then it disappears, you know that it still exists, even if you can't see it. And then I went on to explain how for the insecurely attached, we struggle with emotional permanence, which means that if we don't see proof of the love that our significant other has for us, if we're feeling some distance or there's conflict happening, we have doubts that the love between us still exists. So here's the secret to developing emotional permanence or emotional constancy. We need to get away from what's called splitting or black and white thinking. The ability to believe in paradoxes or holding 2 things true in your mind that seem contradictory at the same time. This is how we find our way out. Reminding ourselves that our partner can love us and be angry at the same time is key, as well as remembering that our partner can be deeply flawed and still good enough, and so can we. Believing that our partner can love us even when they're away sets us both free.
I am a professional dating coach, and this is 3 things that you should never have to ask your boyfriend to do for you, part 2. Part 1 went viral for a reason because apparently there's a lot of boyfriends and husbands out there who can't even do the bare minimum. Anyway, let's get into part 2. Number 1, if your boyfriend has generally upset you and he keeps repeating the same behavior that does upset you, you should not have to ask him to stop doing that behavior. If he knows that he has upset you and he knows why and he still refuses to change that behavior, then you need to ask yourself, does he actually love me? Number 2, you should not have to ask your boyfriend to take a genuine interest in your life and ask you simple questions like, how was your day? If they're not generally interested in your life, you need to question yourself, why is this person actually with me? And number 3, if another woman is trying to flirt with your boyfriend, you should not have to ask your boyfriend to not encourage that woman.
You made a mistake. Let me put it up. No. If you made a mistake. Let me put it out there so you understand. That's your problem right there. I didn't ask you how to take a picture. I didn't ask you how to take a picture.
Other things we've been
You can't be wrong. It's okay.
though it's hurting me. Now it's history. I've played all my cards.
That mean the dick, stinking that bitch, I hit you with the blink. Hit you with the blink. Hit you with the tricks.
Okay, so this is for people who have someone in their life that they will commonly argue with. You know, like a romantic partner, a parent, a friend, whatever. I call it tone. And I'm telling you about this because it's so good that literally my old therapist teaches it to new people. So let's say I say something to my fiance like, you know, I really didn't want to stay there that long. Like if we were at a party, you know. He absolutely now has the right to say to me, tone. And then I'm instantly like, I lost. I'm like, oh, okay. You're right. Then I have to like re-strategize and be like, okay, I really wish we hadn't stayed that long. And then now it's like a normal conversation and no one's just like being nasty. I'm telling you, we've been doing it, me and my fiance, for like 8 years. My parents use it. You just go, tone. And that person has to like re-strategize.
Listen to me very closely, ho. The same fucking way that you just woke up this morning and I woke up this morning, he did too. And you didn't get a text on your phone? Babe, it's because he doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't give a fuck. Stop being delusional. Stop believing in this idea that doesn't exist, babe. If he wanted to text you back the same way I'm making this video, he could have said, good morning, beautiful. But instead, he didn't write it because you want to know why? He's a piece of shit. He's a piece of shit. And you have yet to realize it. Wake up! Wake up! Please.
Green flags in a relationship that you probably thought were red flags. When you feel like the relationship is boring. Now, this is specifically for my folks that are used to being in chaotic or unpredictable environments. When you're so used to the ups and downs and the unpredictability, you tend to find comfort in chaos. And that chaos gets mistaken for love or passion. So before you immediately put your walls up or escape the relationship when you feel that it's boring, ask yourself, is the relationship really boring, or is it just healthy and I'm not used to this?